Hi, welcome at Etna classes. Today I am back with a new chapter, Sermon at Benaras, and I have listed all the important questions in the context of upcoming board examination 2025. This chapter is quite important. Actually, it is considered one of the easiest chapter, and that's why CBSE always put more and more questions from this chapter. In that context, this chapter is quite crucial. So the first Kisa Gotami said, actually her only son had died, that's why she was in grief, she was in sorrow. So the answer would be, Kisa Gotami was sad because her only son had died. She was overwhelmed with grief and couldn't accept his death. Death is common to all. Moving on, question number 2. What did Kisa Gotami ask for when she went from horse to horse? Did she get it? Why not? Actually, she was asking for medicine. She was asking for remedy. She was asking for, thing which could make her only son, alive, which could help her, which could revive her son. But it's not possible because that is common to all. I have already detailed you. Once someone is dead, cannot be revived, cannot be make alive. So she was hopeless, she was in grief, and she was so much, moved by the love of her son. That's why she was going horses to horses, people to people, and asking for the medicine and remedy to make her son revive. But it was not possible. So answer would be, she asked for medicine to bring her dead son back to life, but she didn't get it because no medicine can bring the dead back to life. You can also write in your own words. On question number 3, what did the Buddha ask Kisa Gotami to do? So the answer would be, Buddha asked her to bring a handful of mustard seed from a horse where no one had ever died. Moving on, question number 4, was Kisa Gotami able to find a horse untouched by death? What did she learn from it? No, there is not a house anywhere where no one had ever died, because death is common to all. We are here for few years, for some times, to play our role. That is common to all. The one who is born must be die. So no, she couldn't find any horse untouched by death. She realized that everyone experiences loss and death is natural part of life, and she understood. Moving on, question number 5. Why did the Buddha choose mustard seed for the task? Actually, mustard seeds were common and easily available, but the place, the condition to show that her even something simple cannot be found from a family untouched by death. Actually, mustard seed could be fetched easily, could be available easily. That's why Buddha asked to go and just fetch, bring a handful of mustard seed. Kisa Gotami, found it quite easier, but there was a certain condition that you must fetch a handful of mustard seed from that family only where no one had ever died, and she understood finally that death is common to all. Moving on, question number 6. What is the moral of Kisa Gotami's story? The moral of Kisa Gotami's story that when we lose our loved ones, we become quite emotional, we become sensible, we mourn, we are so much distressed. Sometime a person who loses his loved one decided to end his life, but we have to think that death is common to all. There one day, either sooner or later, one day we will taste it. So we have the understanding that why we are here, what is the reason and what motto our life should be. We should understand, and we have to do the good deeds, we have to be the helpful, and we don't have to worry about our death. Actually, it's quite common, and one day, finally that day will come. So the moral that is inevitable and universal, we cannot skip it, and one must learn to accept it. Life is full of trials and grief is natural, but understanding and acceptance bring peace. We know the actual meaning of life, that at last finally we have to meet death. So it becomes quite easier and life becomes quite peaceful. So moving on. How did Kisa Gotami feel before and after her realization? Actually, at first she was quite disturbed, worried. She wanted to bring her son back at any cost. She couldn't find that such a house where no one had ever died. See that only few are alive. Most of them are already dead. So she realized death is common to all. So before overwhelmed with grief, despair and denial, but after she realized the truth about death, accepted reality and felt calm and enlightened. Moving on, question number 8. What do you think Kisa Gotami understood the lesson only after her task? Actually, she was too grief-stricken to comprehend. The practical task made her see the truth for herself, which is more effective than merely hearing it. Moving on, next. Explain the significance of Kisa Gotami's interaction with the Buddha answer. The Buddha guided her from personal grief to universal understanding. He didn't give her the answer directly but made her discover the truth herself. Actually, Buddha asked to face the mustard seed. Actually, it was the task for her to understand the reality of world, to understand the reality of life. When she visited houses, she got to know that death is common, death is natural, death is the final destiny. And she, by doing such task, after completion of that task given by Buddha, she understood the reality of life, and she was satisfied with the answer. And she was no more eager to bring her son alive and revive her son. Moving on, question number 10. Death is universal. How is this shown in Kisa Gotami's story? Actually, she couldn't find any household untouched by death, which clearly demonstrated that every family experiences loss, which teaches a lesson to Kisa Gotami that she was not only sufferer, that her only son, a newly born child who has lots of things to do, lot of things to learn, lots of things to see. At initial phase, lost his life. But when she visited, she got to know there are lots of children, lots of younger ones also died. So she realized and got to know that death is final destination and common, either sooner or later we experience it. So she just forgot her worries and understood the reality of life. Buddha made her realize. These are the important questions detailed by me from this chapter, and this chapter is quite crucial, important, because it is considered one of the easiest chapter, and CBSE always put up questions from the from this chapter. And I hope that this time also, either in long section or short section, question would be asked. And the common answer would be, if I detail you in brief, that Kisa Gotami lost her son and she was in grief, she was quite sad, and she visited houses to houses, and she consulted people to bring her son alive and brought back to life. But everyone told to just consult Buddha. When she went to Buddha and asked to revive her son, Buddha just thought that she might accept it. So consigned a task to fetch a handful of mustard seed from that house where no one had ever died. And she went from houses to houses, and she couldn't find such a house where no one had ever died. And in completion of that task, she got to realize that death is common, death is for all, and our final destination is death. Either sooner or later we die. So there are lots of people, most of them are already died, only few are left in the family. So she realized, and as she saw sitting alongside the road, that light flickers, and as she realized, and she finally became calm. She finally got the answer that was the true meaning of life. That's all. Thank you. Please, if you like the chapter, if you find that these questions would be helpful for your examination, please hit like button and subscribe the channel so that I could upload more and more questions. Bye.